Hello everyone. This is continuation of explanation of the text of the poem Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. I will begin by summarizing the points that we have discussed so far in the first part of this video. The poet says that man is obsessed with work. This is the main idea that the poet presents in this poem. He also suggests an activity to change this situation. He says that everyone should be quiet for some time. They should forget about business for a while and they should contemplate. The poet also points towards man's negative tendencies like discriminating against others, creating wars, destroying nature, and some other such negative things that have become part of life in case of modern human beings. So let us continue with the next part of the poem. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. As we have discussed in the first part, that each stanza of this poem has two layers of meanings. The apparent meaning is very clear, the deeper meaning is very significant. Now, apparently, this stanza says that fishermen would stop hunting whales, killing whales, and the man who is gathering salt would stop for some time, would not be gathering salt any further, and would give some rest to his hands. So, if we consider the superficial meaning of this stanza, the poet is just giving us an example that if the activity suggested by him is followed by all the human beings, then, for example, the fisherman would stop killing whales and the man gathering salt would l- stop gathering salt. However, there are very significant deeper meanings of these lines. The apparently simple examples of the fisherman and the salt gatherer, they have much deeper significance. They serve to clarify the need for contemplation for all the human beings. Fisherman here becomes symbol of every human being, and killing whale or harming whale becomes symbol of harming nature. So the poet is indirectly pointing towards human beings' tendency to destroy nature. So for a moment, if the activity suggested by him will be followed by human beings, then the destruction of nature would stop. Similarly, the man gathering salt becomes symbol of a common man who is too busy with work, so busy that he is not concerned with his own health as well. So, this man would stop gathering salt and would think about giving some rest to his hands that have got hurt because of being contact with salt for such a long time. So, these lines in a manner answer the question why contemplation. The poet is putting so much stress on the need for contemplation, so he gives us an example to suggest the need for contemplation by giving us the explanation how contemplation will change the life, how the desired result could be achieved if contemplation is done. To make his point clear, the poet presents the effects of negatives of human life, and when he presents the effects of negative tendencies of human life on the life of human beings, then he also gives us a reason why introspection is very important, and the idea that introspection can change life becomes credible and also understandable. He basically says that human beings have three kinds of relationships in their life which have got distorted because of his excessive busyness. These three kinds of relationships are relationship with other human beings, relationship with nature, and relationship with self. Now, through these lines, the poet is also telling us why these three relationships have got distorted. He says that the tendency to cause war and the urge to kill other human beings to show dominance has distorted the relationships with other human beings. Similarly, the tendency of human beings to destroy nature in order to show their superiority over nature shows that their relationship with nature has got distorted. There's a phrase in the coming lines, green war, which directly points towards man's tendency to destroy nature. The salt gatherer becomes a very clear example of the fact that human beings do not care even about their own health. The fisherman and salt gatherer, if they would be taking rest, then they will give themselves some time to contemplate. And if they would contemplate, then they would realize that their life has these negative things and these negative things need to be changed. The contemplation hence will improve all these relationships with nature, with self, and also with other human beings, which is mentioned in the other stanzas. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. So the people who prepare wars, different kind of wars, green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, green wars refer to war against nature. Wars with gas and wars with fire refer to wars where weapons are used which use gases or which use fire to destroy property and human beings. Now, out of war comes victory with no survivors. The poet is very directly pointing towards negatives of war. He says that war can never be positive because even if a country is victorious in war, the country has already lost many of its soldiers. So there are no survivors in the country left who could celebrate the victory. So what is the point in getting that victory even if you have defeated the other country? Now, all these people who are busy in causing these wars, who are very fond of creating war, they would put on clean clothes. The clean clothes become symbol of clean thoughts, getting rid from hatred. So they won't be feeling hatred for other human beings any further. They would walk about with their brothers. Now, brothers here are all human beings. So, all human beings should have a feeling of brotherhood. They all should consider each other to be close to them. So because of contemplation, ultimately, the people would stop causing war and they would walk with their brothers. They would consider everyone to be their brothers and they would walk in shade. They would walk in shade. The shade again is a symbol of peace. Doing nothing. So this can happen only when human beings are doing nothing. If they carry on their obsession for work, they would never contemplate and they would never realize the seriousness of the situation. They would never realize why their life has become so negative and they would never be able to show the brotherhood towards other human beings. Now, some important points about this stanza. The word wars has been repeated deliberately. Green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire. Now, this repetition exposes the extent up to which hatred has become a very common part of human feelings. There is war all around. Hatred is what dominates human mind. So, that is why the word has been repeated. Victory with no survivors, as we have discussed already, is a very important phrase because this is a direct statement against war. So this makes the poem an anti-war poem. War is definitely based on a caprice of some powerful people, the people who want to show their domination, who want to feel power. So the best result in a war could be victory, but even the best result could not be celebrated, because even the victory comes in return of death of many soldiers. Clean clothes, walk with brothers, shade. Now, such words have a symbolic value in the poem, and such words have been deliberately used to give an idea to human beings how beautiful the world would be if man is not obsessed with work, if man finds time to introspect and changes the life according to the ideas given by the introspection. Now, these words have strong and clear symbolic references to suggest need for human beings to improve relationships with fellow human beings. The need to walk with brothers, the need to lie in shade, the need to put on clean clothes, they have been stressed upon through these phrases. Now, all such words and phrases, they point towards the need to purify feelings, and they also point towards the the worst effects of war on human life. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. Now the poet feels that because he is stressing so much on the need to stop working, he is asking the reader again and again to be quiet, to stop being busy. So he feels that there is a possibility that the reader would misinterpret him. The reader would feel that the poet is demanding the readers to stop working at all, to be inactive. But he says that his activity, the activity that he is suggesting, should not be confused with total inactivity. It is not total inactivity. Life is what it is about. Life means being busy. So he wants no truck with death. He does not want it to be compared with death. If we were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving, so he says that we are single minded about keeping our life moving. We are single minded means we are obsessed about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing. So, for once, if we could do nothing, we could stop being obsessed for work, then perhaps a huge silence would arise, and it might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves. We are continuously feeling a sadness of never understanding ourselves. We are very busy, we are continuously earning lots of money, but still we are not able to understand why we are being busy, why are we earning so much money, what is the actual meaning of life. Modern literature is full of this idea that life has become meaningless. Human beings do not find meaning in their life, they keep on living in a meaningless manner. So, the same idea has been presented here, that man is sad because man does not understand himself. And the only way of getting rid of this sadness is that man should, for some time, stop being obsessed with work. This will give rise to a huge silence, and that silence will help us to understand why our life is full of sadness and of threatening ourselves with death. This sadness is so enormous that it is threatening ourselves with death. It is making our life equivalent to death. So, the way to get rid of this sadness is to find some time to contemplate. So, this is a sort of conversational tone. Here, the poet is talking to the reader. The poet is having a conversation with the reader to explain the actual meaning of his activity. Now he has been suggesting an activity that he would count till 12 and then everyone should be still. So now he explains that activity further. He gives indirect expression to the fact that contemplation is not inactivity. Because apparently it feels that if a person would be contemplating, the person would not be moving, the person would not be working, but still it is an active process because our mind is active during contemplation. Because what he is suggesting is that we should be still, but we should be thinking about our life. We should be analyzing what are the situations that are prevailing in our life and what are the ways to get rid of the negative situations that have become part of our lives. He also praises contemplation here. He says that it is not inactivity and this activity will give positive results to us. He also clarifies that being busy is not wrong. He says that life is what it is about. Life means being busy. So, being busy is natural. However, being obsessed is wrong. So, he does not want human beings to be obsessed with work, although being busy has nothing negative about it. The adjective huge for the silence. It again shows how unique an experience it would be for the entire world if the human beings can find free time. Human beings are always busy, and if they find free time from their daily routine, it would be something extraordinary. It would be something that cannot be even thought about in case of many human beings. Now, the typical theme of meaninglessness, as I have mentioned, it is very common in modern literature. Modern literature says that man is rootless, man has lost his relationships, he has no friends in the modern world, he has no family members. Similarly, man is meaningless because if there are no relationships in life, no positive relationships in life, then man cannot find meaning in his life. Never understand ourselves. So, this means man is always busy and he is concerned only about materialistic success. He thinks about earning money, he thinks about owning resources. That is all that he is concerned about. So, there are no meaningful relationships in life. So, if there are no meaningful relationships, the money cannot be used. Because if you try to understand it in simple terms, money is meant to enjoy life with your friends and your family members. If you have no relationships with your friends, if you have no relationships with your family members, the money would become meaningless, the money would become useless. So that is why man is continuously earning money but is not making the relationship strong, because of which he could use the money in a positive manner and in an enjoyable manner. He's getting away from family, friends, because he's always busy. And if he won't give time to his friends, if he won't give time to his family members, he could not stay close to them. So his own happiness is lost, and the reason is his obsession for work. So that is why man never understands himself. He thinks he is successful if he is earning money, but he does not understand that without healthy relationships, the money is useless. The sadness is so strong that it is threatening ourselves with death. The sadness covers our entire lives. So that is why the sadness needs to be dealt with, and the only way of doing it is contemplation. Now, here we can consider the example of Japan. Japan is a developed country. It is considered to be one of the most successful countries in the world. People there are very hardworking, they are always busy, but Japan is also known for the highest number of suicides. The number of suicides rose significantly over the past few years, and the Japanese government analyzed that the reason was excessive busyness of the people. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, here is an image given to us. The poet is continuing his process of advocating his activity. He has suggested that we should spare time to contemplate, we should not be busy during that time. But now he is clarifying that it should not be considered something which is inactive. It should not be considered something which can be equivalent to laziness. So he says that we can compare contemplation to the process through which a non living seed turns into a living plant. He says that when the weather is not good and we sow a seed in earth, then apparently it seems that nothing is happening, no change is taking place. But actually, the seed is preparing itself to grow into a plant, and as soon as the weather changes, it turns into plant. So it is something beautiful, non-living thing turning into a living thing. So that is beauty of nature. So this beauty of nature comes after an apparent stillness. Similarly, if human beings would contemplate for some time, they would be apparently inactive, but actually the result would be wonderful because internally lots of changes would be taking place. Internally, human beings would be active. So there is use of imagery here. The use of imagery means imagery is a literary device where an image is created by words. Something is presented in such a manner that we can form an image in our mind. So now when we read these lines, we can form the image of earth, seed, and plant growing out of it in our mind. Now, there are many purposes for using this imagery. Firstly, it advocates the activity suggested by the poet. It says that the activity is positive and not negative. So, there's a direct statement involved here that contemplation is going to give us positive results. Then, a beautiful image has been used, life developing out of non living seed. So it shows how effective the act of contemplation is, that it is going to produce such beautiful results as is growing of a plant out of a seed. Now, this also describes clearly that the general belief that contemplation is like taking rest is absolutely wrong. The actual way in which contemplation will affect human life is that it will improve the three kinds of relationships that we have already discussed: relationship with nature, relationship with fellow human beings, relationship with self. And when these relationships would improve, human life would become much more enjoyable. So, the ultimate result would be a happier world. So finally, the poet says, now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So the poet feels that he has made his point clear, and now once he counts to 12, he is good to leave and the reader can do the contemplation on his own now. So the poet is ready to go. He shows a belief that he has made things clear for the readers, and that the readers would have got convinced by now that contemplation is very important and they should make it a regular part of their daily routine. Now, very quickly, the major ideas summed up. First of all, the obsession for work is to be forgotten if relationships are to be improved and the world is to be made a beautiful world. contemplation or introspection is the only way of doing it. So contemplation is a must. Contemplation will be very effective because it will improve the relationships of human beings with nature, fellow human beings, and with self. So three kinds of relationships would be improved. Contemplation is an active process, it is not inactivity, and it has great effects. So that's all for the poem. Thank you very much.